I wanted 12 kids actually when I was little. Yeah, yeah. And my mom, after 2, I said, okay, now this is good. This is good enough. And mom is, what happened to the 12? I said, Mom, hats off to you. You had 4, but I don't know how you did it. But yeah, so I just enjoyed that every moment with my kids. I have really, enjoyed.
For all film-related interviews, reviews and content, please like and subscribe to Puja Talwar. You can also follow me on Twitter and on Instagram.
Such a pleasure to meet the three of you. And ma'am, I would say like it's all about Anamika Anand. But, you know, hum sab Madhuri Dixit banna chahte the. There's a movie also. So what is it like being Madhuri Dixit? I will not say Anamika Anand because, you know, the kind of stardom and the fame and the kind of work you've done, I don't think anybody has ab tak to nahi kiya hai.
Well, I don't know how to feel about it because really I don't think about it that way. I think I look at life in a very different way. I think you have to live life every day. You cannot be stuck with something that puts you in a slot. I want to do different things. I want to learn every day, like I said. It's like my kids and my husband, they play tennis. I never got an opportunity to learn. So now I'm learning how to play tennis. You know, I'm like that. I want to do what I want to do in life. And I don't look at myself as an actress or a star or, whatever. For me, I am a human being first who has a lot of relations and, who has, who's a daughter, who's a wife, who's a mother and, who's a person first before anything else. And that's the way I live life. And if during that time when I'm living my life and I'm doing what I do, I manage to influence people or change somebody's life or, inspire someone, I think it's great. I feel happy about that. But that's about it. So
you've influenced and inspired a generation, and I'm sure you inspired them as well. So, I mean, I'm going to ask you this question. It's going to be 4 decades and less than 2 years since your debut in Abodh. That was 1984. What was it like facing the camera then and now facing the camera, I mean, for the lack of a better word, your digital debut?
Yes.
What was that like?
Well, it's finally what I'm doing is finally what I'm good at, right? I'm doing something, I'm acting, I'm playing a character of Anamika Anand. I have 2 kids right here and I have a husband. And so for me, it's like playing that character. I don't think of how many years I have been working or when I started, and because for every day is new for me, is a new day. And I go on the sets as a student. I feel today I'm going to learn something else, not just from me or the way I approach my role, but also from my co-stars who are working with me, all the different actors. Like sometimes when he does something great in a scene, I'm like, oh my God, he thought of that, and that was lovely. Or if she does something, it's like, oh, I've never thought of that. And she approached that role this way, which is amazing. So for me, I keep learning. So for me, I don't think about myself as, so many years in the industry and where I am and what I am. I live in that moment, and that's what I do.
And also for someone who headlined roles like Mrityu Dand, and back in the day, usko kehte the na female-oriented. I mean, you carried those movies on your shoulder. Is the pressure less or more when you are doing a role like that, when, the entire narrative's on you, you're carrying the narrative forward?
Yes.
More in cinema or less vis-a-vis the OTT space?
Well, the thing is that with success comes a lot of responsibility. So every time you do a role, you have to do your best. You have to put your best foot forward, approach it in the best possible way. And it doesn't matter where you are, in today's world, the screen, it could be a 70 mm, it could be a TV, it could be, your little phone or a laptop or, an iPad. It doesn't matter how people consume content is up to them, whether they want to go to theater, whether they want to sit at home with their family and watch something. So for me, it doesn't matter whether it's a big screen or a small screen. It doesn't matter, really. What matters is what you're doing, my job, and if I'm doing it well. So whether it's digital or whether it's a movie or whether, I'm doing a reality show, it doesn't matter, It's how you're influencing people and how you're inspiring them or what you're doing to go one step forward and do something better, So that's what it is. It's a debut on OTT, yes, but I've been working for the past how many years, and so for me it's something new because it's a new system. The way everything works is different. It's a series, so it's 8 episodes, longer time to tell your story, and what I like about a series as say against a movie is that a movie you have to tell your story in 2 hours. In a series you can develop the character so beautifully, not just yours but also the ones around you which are influencing you, and that kind of draws. That's why people binge watch, because you get drawn into that world. And I hope with the Fame game we have managed to do that and drawn people into our world to see what's going on behind the curtain.
Totally, and it's extremely intriguing. I'm going to ask the two of you, playing kids to the most wanted mom on screen. What was that like?
Wanted mom? I don't. I think I've most wanted mom ka to nahi pata, but I think the relationship that she established right from the beginning was of co-actors, and that I really respected that because right from the beginning it was about the work, it was about the scene, it was about the characters. And कभी कभी मुश्किल होता था जब मैं ऐसे घर से होटल से सब प्रिपेयर करके आया हूँ, अपनी जोन में हूँ, and she'll come and with her smile and she'll like, hi, good morning, and I'm like, अरे सब भूल गया.
I know, hers like the 1,000-watt smile, सब भूल जाते हैं.
तो वो those were the difficult days, but I also learned slowly and देखा अभी I've forgotten my answer. Thank you.
I know you still get mesmerized. I know. I agree with you.
Absolutely.
Always. I mean, I'm always going to say this, but when I saw her for the first time, I just could not believe it. I could not believe she was right there. But then she was so warm, she was so good to us that we actually became like family, quite honestly, on set. And she's been such a mentor also. She's always guided us, even if little things like favor the camera, you're hugging me, your face is getting hidden, like why? Just little things. And I was just like, this is really like family. She's teaching us so much. Just looking at her, she's like an institution in herself.
I agree with that.
But that's so true that it almost started to feel like a family, because there were days when I felt off, because you do, and I would just go and sit next to her, not even talk. I'll feel better, honestly.
So sweet.
And it was just the comfort. It was just the ease, and thank you.
Or appreciation.
Oh.
She would always appreciate all of us. I mean, if she really liked something, I mean, she would take the time to actually come and tell us, that was good.
Absolutely.
And that was everything.
That always comes from a person of security and a person who, is comfortable within their own skin and craft. Most wanted mom, I think, nahi, because she can easily play your leading lady also, because she still looks so young. Actually. But, ma'am, it's lovely the way you have transitioned. But I just wanted to ask you, this is a question that's put forth, when we are at a certain age, kabhi, a lot of people in Hollywood as well in Bollywood, actors have spoken that we have the experience, but wo ye filmon mein shayad narratives nahi likhe jate hain, but that's happening now. So do you think this is also liberating because you come with that much experience?
Well, it's very liberating because, when you're on OTT, you don't have the confines of making a film which is a blockbuster or does so much business, should collect so much money, and, it has to cater to all audiences. You can make a story said in a very sensitive way, in your own way, the way you want to make it, tell your own stories, and take it to people. So that's what OTT has done, actually, because you see so many people watching Korean dramas, somebody's watching Spanish, series, somebody's watching something else, and you get introduced to so many different cultures, how they are in their country and how they behave in their own culture. So you are getting introduced to so many different varieties of not only filmmaking, of stories, of cultures. And I think that has influenced people, and they want to do that. They want to watch that, and they love doing it. So I just hope that that all percolates down to also making films. When films are also being created, which are very different. First, women-oriented stories, like we talked about, used to be about either revenge. A woman has been wronged and she's revenge, or she's a victim right up to the end, and then she takes a stance for herself. But today you have women in different roles. There's a woman athlete you're making a film on. There's a mathematician, you made a film on. So woman is not, she's not just a woman, she's a character now.
True.
And she's playing so many different roles in the society. She's a professional. She is maybe a housewife, but she has her own dreams. So I think that's wonderful about movies and for women being in this field today.
What did you enjoy about Anamika Anand? Because you have seen the fame, you've seen the stardom. You came from a very different background than the one, she's like, because yours was a very secure kind of a family, and then you also chose to, say adieu for a few years and just be mom and wife when you went to the States. And that's a brave thing to do, because wo kehte hai na, out of sight, out of mind, magar aap kabhi out of sight, out of mind nahi the. But that it comes from a place of security, I'm sure. But when you were playing this character who's just polar opposite from everything you've experienced in life, what was that like?
Well, it was wonderful. Not because her life is wonderful, it's not. And for me, I have led such a sheltered life that to go through that, and you've heard stories about somebody going through that, or somebody had this happen to her, or somebody had, and to kind of live that through this movie, I think it was fascinating for me. And I think the way it has been written, like all the scenes, the whole relationship with the son, the daughter, the husband, the mother, I think it's so, because it's a mystery. It's a mystery, and yet it's a family drama. And I think the relationships, because I never had these kind of, I had a very straightforward life. And for me to get into those nitty-gritties was very, very fascinating. And I enjoyed every minute of it.
It's like your character says, na, main actor hoon to act kar lungi.
Yes.
Totally. And I want to ask
Absolutely.
both of you, I mean, you have issues here with the mom sitting here. What was it like, enacting that? It could have been like, mentally very tiring, because here's somebody who comes with 4 decades of experience. As she said, actor hoon kar lungi, But for you, stepping in and playing these intense characters, what was that like?
I mean, quite honestly, because it's like actors play off of each other. I mean, we are new, but that's very true. That because ma'am would always come with so much preparation, and so it would just be much nicer to like play like that. So it wasn't like intimidating in a bad way. It was just like, I want to be better. What can I learn? What can I learn? In every scene that we were doing, and she was always there, quite honestly, in every scene. And that was just a blessing in itself. So, yeah.
I think it has to go, the credit needs to go to the script, because it was just written in such a way that, I was able to play those scenes in a more intimate or a more intense manner. And of course, as she said, you do play off with the actors, and everyone's going through so much. So the environment was quite heavy at one point.
Yes, it would get really difficult.
And in that environment, then you really start to breathe, and you really start to live, and you understand what's been going on with this family and these characters inside. Hence things start to happen. So kudos to the directors as well, Karishma and Bijoy, to create that environment, and the art department to create that house and build those scenes and spaces, because all of those things help make your character and do the scene.
I also feel the comfort that all of us had made it easy for us to do these kind of difficult scenes. Like if that would have been difficult, just facing somebody and to be in front of the camera with somebody, we wouldn't have been able to approach it with sincerity. That if there's something over the top that we have to do with our characters, with the other characters, that we could do that, honestly.
And ma'am, how has your process changed? I mean, I know acting is like, वो कहते हैं ना, cycling होती है. आप कभी नहीं भूलते हो. You can slip in and out. But I'm sure as an actor, your process may have changed over the years. Abodh se lekar playing Madhu, playing, Rani, playing Paro, and now Anamika. How has it changed? Or it's not changed at all?
Well, I think when you're beginning, you are the energy. I mean, you come to the set and you are the energy, and you are like everywhere. And slowly, once you are there and you know that you know your craft fairly well, you know the camera, you know this, then you start feeding off people's energies also. So it's like I'm there, but I want those energies also around me. And when I'm doing a scene, it's like it has to be a give and take. And you kind of get into that zone. That's the only thing I think different. Rest all is like, it's for me, it's like drinking water, to act. Like I said in the series also, like you say, actor hu, act kar lungi, So.
But you never missed this in the time when you were bringing up your babies?
Well, that was my dream when I was bringing up my babies. That was a big part of my dream, to have, house, a husband, family, kids. I wanted 12 kids actually when I was little. Yeah. And my mom, after 2, I said, okay, now this is good. This is good enough. And mom is, what happened to the 12? I said, Mom, hats off to you. You had 4, but I don't know how you did it. But yeah, so I just enjoyed that every moment with my kids. I have really enjoyed, and I have put everything into it. And it's not as if I was away from the limelight. I mean, that was never in my mind at all. Like when I met the right person, I said, yes, I want to marry you, and we got married, and I had kids. And so it's something I just live my life.
And the funny thing about her husband was he had never watched her films when he married her. Now has he started watching them?
Yes, he has seen a few. He has seen a few now.
Really?
Yeah. Because he grew up there, and he comes from a Maharashtrian family, and he didn't know Hindi, so he never watched Hindi films. He said the only things he remembers about Hindi is listening to Pakiza songs in the car when his mom used to take him everywhere. He says, I used to listen to the Pakiza songs every time. And the only film he's actually seen before he married me was Amar Akbar Anthony, a little bit of it. And he says, that's about it. Rest all...
So it was a headline, because I remember when she married and they were like, Madhuri Dixit's husband has not seen a single film of hers. That was the headline. You were like, wow. But, you're playing kids. I mean, she is not the mother she is playing on screen, and she's playing a bang opposite mom. Any fun moments that you've had with her?
Fun moments?
Yeah,
I mean,
anything.
this series isn't made of fun moments.
Or something about her that you're going to take back for a...
There was one very special moment for
Yeah.
sure. I think there's one scene in which my character is breaking down for some reason.
Your character keeps breaking down, yeah.
Keeps breaking down. And I think in that scene, what happened was that probably it was a close lens, and it went out of my mind. And during that breakdown, I probably just went out of frame. And she was there in that scene, and she held my shoulders and put me back in. She was still in the scene, and she did that and continued, and I didn't even realize that this happened. And it's only after the take that I realized that she did that. I mean, that was the day I felt so comfortable. I was like, if I have someone like her next to me in these scenes, then it's going to be fine, So I think that was a very, very special moment, to just be so much so aware and help out a co-actor like that. I think that was, yeah.
She's just an exceptional human being, quite honestly. And no, quite honestly, because she's always helped us throughout the way, both of us, in all the scenes. And I think that's the biggest takeaway from ma'am, that you just have to be a good human being.
Absolutely.
At the end of the day, that's my biggest takeaway.
And also an interesting thing in the film, which is also a reflection of our times, is like how, I'm sure you've seen that, kabhi you become a victim of your own image. You are so embraced in your stardom, you don't know life otherwise. On the other hand, is now in this generation, everything is captured. Like that scene where she's looking for her mom, but people want to take selfies. What do you make of this? Because you've seen both sides, life in the spotlight, life away from the spotlight.
Yeah, I mean, it's part of being a public person, where people, and in today's day and world, they want to know everything about you. So it's crazy, because you're at the airport and you want to get your bags or something like that, and people are shoving their phones in front of your face, saying, can we have a selfie? Can we have a selfie? For them, it's once in a lifetime moment, that moment, and they have to capture it, because if they let go of that, then that's it. God knows when they will meet you again. So it's their love and it's their passion for you and everything. But that's the ironical thing about, being a public figure, that the boundaries, are not there. Like they're just blurring. And especially when everybody has a smartphone with a camera on it, it is a problem. But that's the world we live in, so we cannot really complain about it.
True.
You know.
It's like also your character in the film. I'm sure you've been through it. You might be going through your own thing, but when the camera is on, it's all okay. It's just the realities in your
Yes.
own life. Sometimes I just feel poor actors, kabhi-kabhi therapy ki bhi zarurat pad jati hogi because there's just so much happening.
Yeah.
But
It's like, I remember my dad had just passed away, and I had started work after that. And we were fine. We were like, ha ha, ha, laughing, this, that. And Mickey was doing my makeup. And, we put the song, Abhi Mujh Mein Kabhi Baki. What was that?
मुझ में कहीं बाकी
Baki Thodi Si Hai Zindagi. And it just brought you back to reality suddenly, and I just started crying. And it was like, so I think those are the moments, those are the private moments we have. But once you are in front of the camera, you have to forget everything else. And you have to become the character that you're playing, and and it's just, and that's it.
totally. And I mean, last but not the least, Sanjay Kapoor. I know I still remember Akhiyan Milao, Raja. That all came to everyone's mind. What was that back? And now both of you playing mom and dad. The Raja and Rani have really.
Yeah, I did Mohabbat with him after that.
Oh, yes, of course.
We did 2 films, and then we were working together again. It was great because, we had a great camaraderie when we did Raja. He was comparatively new, compared to me. And it's great to see how much he's grown as an actor now that I've worked with him again after a long gap. And we just picked up from where we had left off, and it was wonderful. And he is such a funny person, on the set. He has these one-liners which just cracks everybody up. So he's the same, I'm the same. It's like, the only difference is we have these 2 kids.
True. But talking about your kids, are they like, okay, because you said they keep saying, Mom, what are you doing? I remember you telling me your son would see you dance and saying, Mom, what do you think you're doing? Is it all okay now?
Yeah, they understand I'm an actress. That was when he was very young. And I had even narrated an incident with Saran. The TV was just on. My mom was watching something, and one of my songs from Koila came on, where hum log bhang ke ye kha lete hain, and then we all, hi, and we are doing some song. And so when I left, I saw that was going on TV, and I left. By the time I came home, there was a little note on the computer like that, and written Mom. So I picked it up and I said, so I read it, and it says, Dear Mom, why were you acting like a crazy person? Love, Saran. So for them, it was, now that they've lived here for the past, 10 years nearly, and they have seen the frenzy and the, everything, and now they understand. Also, they have also grown up, and they know that, I'm an actress, and they see movies. They see so many movies, and my older guy is interested a little bit in drama and stuff. So he did some plays in a school. So he understands now that it's a process when you're, doing something. And so they understand more now than they did when we had just moved in.
Also brilliant musicians, both.
Yes, I've seen that.
We've seen some.
I have seen that. I've seen her
very
sing
good.
also, Candle. And has your husband also now started matching steps with you? I saw that he's managed to get a hang of it.
Yeah, he always was a good mover on the dance floor. But there's so much we learned during the lockdown. It is not even funny. My first song, like you talked about, Candle, we shot in the house. And he was the guy who was a cameraman. So he went to, like he says, University of Google, and found out everything. And we lit up and we kind of just shot it at home. But yeah, so I think Anamika Anand's life is very, very different from what I live every day. And so that's what makes it the fame game, because she literally takes fame very seriously, because that's what she holds on in her own life, onto. And when you do that, then you see the dark side of fame.
Absolutely. And you're someone who's mastered the fame game. You know how to treat the fame, and you're not playing any games with it. So
No way.
thank you so much. What next after this? An illustrious career. What next? You've done it all. What next?
Well, I'm doing a movie for another OTT platform. So So that should be the next.
Wow, awesome. Looking forward to. And many congratulations to the two of you. It's like, I would say, the best, learning from the best in the business. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All the
Nice
very
talking to
best.
you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
If you've liked this interview, please like, share, and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram.